G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to another video. Here we go with another race this week, another brand new combination with the brand new circuit. So we are back at Sardegna Road Course B. It's actually B2 this time, shaking things up a little. So remember the previous video where I did that one race and showed you the different replay angles? I'll have it linked up in the card, I guess. This is that same track, except the opposite way around. So we're going in the opposite direction, which is technically the correct direction in this combination, but the incorrect direction if it was the previous video. Anyway, we'll finish up with that. So it's the same track, but the other way around, known as Sardegna Road Course B2. And we are in Group 3, so I've gone for the Audi R8. I know, a very classic choice, but I've changed the livery. I've got a nice fast food inspired livery here, but we're going to have a few races around here and hope to get a good result. So have a look at that chicane now that it's turn 1 and 2 instead of turns 12 and 13 at the end of the lap. It's now at the start of the lap, so you have to get that right this time, and then you've got that dangerous curb on the inside there. But let's follow the action now. So we're stuck up behind this Subaru, which is not great in a line. So hopefully we can take advantage of that rather, going either down the straight or up the hill here. So the track in the opposite direction, you might think, oh, a bit boring, they're just using old combinations. No, it's got a very different feel, this particular circuit. The original direction, the intended direction, it's all about flow. I feel like this direction is about speed, which is really weird, but that's how I feel. So that's why it's in a video that I made. I'm obviously going to share my opinions in my videos. So this is the last sector now. Normally the first sector is what this part of the circuit is, but basically it may jog your memory of the previous video if you don't remember it. But have a look at this final corner here. You've got a very dodgy braking zone coming out of turn 12 straight into turn 13, which is a second gear corner, whereas turn 12 is flat out. So that can lead to some very interesting little happenings there. And then remember turn 8 from last time? That is now turn 6, and there's a lot of action that goes on here, so let's follow the action here. So on lap 1 we never really made any gains, but look at how much ground we make up in the braking zone of that Subaru. We've got a Honda off the circuit on the left hand side. Honda's slow. We've got a penalty with the Toyota FT1 up ahead. Not quite able to capitalise on the fact that the Honda's going a bit slow there. I'm going to be able to go up in the inside through turn 4 and 5. I'm side by side with that Honda. The Honda just sort of bins it off the track, although I probably did nudge him a little bit, but thankfully the game didn't give me a penalty. But I'm obviously not going to wait for that position back. So the Toyota FT1, a yellow car 2 places ahead of me, has got a 2-second penalty. They will serve that on the exit of turn 10 here, where the penalty gates are, obviously. This is turn 9 now. Very banked corner this, but it's got a very late apex, and it's actually really slow compared to the other direction we take it. Much faster because you're leading to a downhill section. But have a look. There are the penalty gates. Very easy to go wide there. Such a dangerous exit corner at turn 10 because you've got that barrier on the outside. Then someone bins it off the track here. I'm up into 6th, and then we're going to be in the slipstream with this Subaru, which is not great in a line. Audi R8 isn't really anything to write home about in a line, but compared to the Subaru it is. So we'll go down the straight now. We're in the slipstream. You'll have a look at how much time we gain. We're about 3.5 tenths behind before the first corner. We're now 2.5 tenths. We're still gaining. We're going to be less than 2 tenths. Pretty much 1.5 tenths by the end of the straight through turn 2. We get through there. Okay, Subaru gets the best run through turn 2 and streaks out a few more tenths, but that's okay. I don't want to be too close because you can really lose sight of your braking points if you've got a car right in your face, especially something as big and bulky as that Subaru, who's right on that rumble strip on the outside there. So turn 6, massive dip rather than a massive sort of uphill elevation change all of a sudden. So it's still a good overtaking opportunity. Wow, really botched that up. But obviously I feel like it's a better overtaking opportunity going the original direction. And you see by the end of that race, we actually never managed to overtake that Subaru. It was just that little bit quicker than me, about 2 seconds quicker than me over the whole race. So I'm not able to make my way past there. But I did another qualifying lap, and we'll have a look at it. So here we go, we're going down the main straight now, we're about to start the lap. You have to get a good run off that final corner to get a nice run down the straight. That's probably worth a few tenths in the end, and you can see I'm about 5 thousandths up just by virtue of getting a better run through here. Turn 1 braking just on the start of that curbing, trail it through to turn 2 in 3rd gear, keep it in 3rd through there, get on the power nice and early. Turn 3 now, just a lift of the throttle there, you don't really need to brake for that one, and then turns 4 and 5, start braking and ride this camber down. Really use that camber there to get the car slowed up. Brake nice and early for this one, going downhill, so you've got an extended braking zone. 2nd gear there, get a nice exit there, and we're going to run up the hill now. The top times, we're keeping it in 4th gear, going up this hill. I don't quite remember what I do. Yeah, I do reach 5th, but that's alright. I don't feel like I lost too much time from going into 5th there. And then 2nd gear, late apex, try and get on the power, even though this car is a little bit squirrely, but we get through there okay. Braking pretty much a similar kind of corner here, maybe just a little bit slower. Just, you got to really slow down for those 2 corners, turns 9 and 10, really misleading here. Little bit of a lift through turn 11, that's alright, because you want to keep it over to the right hand side, so you get a nice run through turn 12, and a racing line through turn 13 there. Once again, camber on the inside, and then you get a nice run. Use that curbing on the outside, but you don't want to put your whole car up onto that curb, because you will get a penalty, and it's quite a harsh penalty, as I found out the hard way. But we crossed the line there with a 121.3. Top times are about 119, so I'll take it. Pretty much the fastest race pace was 120s, so I'll take a 121.3 any day, especially considering that I don't feel like I'm up there with the top guys, but I feel like I'm quicker than average. We're AS rated actually, so we put ourselves 6th place in AS lobby, so that's alright. I've won races from 6th place before, probably. But we'll see how this race goes. So the title of the video today, pretty much based on luck. I know that may trigger some people that are really into motorsports, but I felt as though my results, it was pretty much, do I get binned off on the first lap? If no, then I get a good result. If yes, then I don't get a good result, obviously. And I don't really feel as though any incidents where I did get binned off, I didn't really feel like they were my fault. And I know that sounds really bad, but I've put a couple in the video and you'll see what I mean. So braking towards turn 1 and 2. We actually get through there nicely this time. Porsche up ahead has a massive snap moment. Jesus, that looked violent through there. But we're in the dirty air through there, and we've got a Mercedes off the track. Mercedes SLS, not a Mercedes AMG, but it manages to keep it around the outside. But no, I do actually manage to slip up the inside at turn 5. Down the hill towards turn 6, but nothing much happened for the rest of this lap. So just going to fast forward. You see we're pretty much line astern. Not really any moves being made, but lurking behind is Mr. in that Mercedes SLS with 1 bar connection. But then coming into here, I've just broken just a touch too late. You see, I end up off the track there, nearly bin it onto the inside wall, and a couple of cars, 3, 4, the 5th car slows up for me, so I lose 4 positions, although Mr. off the track again with his 1 bar connection, lurking, ready to lag his way into my penalty, if that... lag his way into giving me a penalty is what I meant to say. Look at that lag, oh my goodness, I'm just so distracted. I get sort of caught in an oversteer moment, not able to quite sort of catch it, as I just had no idea where this Mercedes was. So obviously when I was at a 1 bar connection before I fixed some internet a little bit, I didn't quite realise that it can be that bad, because he's obviously suffering from the same thing, probably on a very weak Wi-Fi connection with the router very far away from his PlayStation, which is pretty much similar to my situation. Got a penalty being served here. It is a Ford Mustang, a bit of a mind blank there, Ford Mustang with a Monster Energy livery serving the penalty there. Mr.'s all over the road. 100% if I was a cop, he would be getting pulled over and breathalyzed, because I have my suspicions. Heading down the main straight, hopefully we can actually just get past this guy, because I don't want to actually be caught in a battle with him, because that is the last thing, the absolute worst thing to try and do, is try and battle with someone with a bad connection, because they can lag all over the place. They're using tactics in racing that are not very well known to the lesser evolved individuals. So, it may look like he's about to drive off the track, but it's just lag. The way the game works, if you've got a bad connection... Oh, hang on, we've got someone off the track here. Another Audi. Do I go through them? No, but he does... Oh my goodness, that was awkward. looked like the Audi was going to go around, but then Mr. got in the way, and then the Audi ended up in the wall. And then we've got Mac 3637 that's made his way past in the Toyota Supra. So Mr. now has a 2-second penalty, which he will serve on the same lap here, because he did get that penalty early enough before the penalty gates to serve it on the same lap, which is good because that means he will be out of my face and I'll be free to race with Mac. So what I was saying before, way the game works is if you're on a bad connection, it will try and predict the racing line for you, but then when the sporadic connection does connect, it'll think, oh, the car's actually here, and then the game will quickly switch your car over. So that's why you see the shuffling, especially going through corners. Down straights it's not so bad because the game can quite easily predict going down a straight, but it's through the corners where people take different lines, going defensive, going offensive, and sort of trying to keep their car on the road, because that's actually a lot harder than it looks in this game. I will admit that I struggle with that. On the outside for turn 2, get through here, get lunged a little bit of a nudge from behind, and oh, it's Mr. He got a 2-second penalty for that. Oh man, what a legend. So it appeared like I did get a little bit of oversteer, but if you were looking down in the radar, I did actually receive a little bit of a nudge in the rear end, and that just sent the car walking over to the outside. Got a bit of an overlap on Mac going down towards turn 6. On the outside though, am I able to hang it around the outside? I am. Look at that, he gave me the space, to be fair to him. So thank you very much for that. So let's see if we can translate this into an overtake. It's the inside for turn 8, but it's not really an overtaking opportunity. Just have to feather that throttle not to go over the inside curb, because that is violent. If you want to know violence, want to know R-rated violence, R-restricted 18 plus violence, then go over the curb at turn 8 at Sardegna Road Course B2, and you'll realise, hopefully we don't demonstrate that for you guys later. So we're still locked in a good battle here. So we've got, other than a 3-bar connection, he's on a 4-bar connection, so that's pretty good. That's the recipe for a good battle. He gets a nice run actually through turn 12, but that means he's narrow for turn 13, which translates, look at that, look how much speed, look at the speed difference here, but once again I'm on the outside. He's done a good job of going defensive, and of course he's helped by the fact that that Supra has excellent top end, so he's able to defend that position successfully. I'm not able to get past without that slipstream. So let's see, breaking towards turn 1, get through there nicely, turn 2 now, trail it through. I'm in the dirty air a little bit, but it's not too bad. He just manages to slot in ahead. So we're on lap 5 now, and then this complex braking zone here, it's very difficult. Let's see, we brake here, and yeah, oh, we just knock him off the track a little bit. I do get a penalty for that. Oh, that is awkward. Now, I looked at the penalty, and this is kind of where it's all based on luck. Kind of where today's video title came from. I had a look at that, analyse a bit of the speed. So you can normally go through turn 5 at about 120. Oh no, I've demonstrated the turn 8 curb. Look at that, I just ran over the inside and threw the car up on 2 wheels and just lost control when it landed. So I'm going to serve the penalty now. So this race has been an absolute disaster. Serve that penalty there and we'll fast forward to the end. But I was saying, I was analysing the speeds of me and Mac going through turn 5 where I binned him off. You can normally take it about 120. He just hit the brakes a little bit more than usual. He was going about 100 kilometers an hour going through there. So look, I was taking the racing line, going racing speed. I think he did brake a little bit too much, but I was probably a little bit too close behind. So as always, it does take 2 to tango, but I feel as though I just got unlucky and he didn't quite brake early enough and was carrying a bit too much speed, so I had to brake a bit more. Oh well, what's done is done. But you see, I've put the fast food Audi R8 on pole position with the 121.3, so obviously I did bin Mac off, so my SR is probably around 80 now, so I've gone into the lower band of AS now because of that. But nevertheless, we put it on pole, always good, so hopefully we managed to keep it on pole, and hopefully we can get that safety or sportsmanship rating back up. Now the Audi R8, it's always a good car in Group 3. It's normally, if you've got your circuits that are good for top end speed, you've got your circuits that reward handling, sort of all-round circuits, yeah, Audi R8 is where you want to go. So that's why the car is so good. It's got okay top end, good handling, good rotation through corners, just because of that mid-engine layout. So you can take a little bit of the curb through turn 2 there, but you don't want to take too much. So they're the same type of curbs that are through that uphill run between turn 6 and turn 9, because you've got turn 7 and 8 in between. And Oh, we'll see the curbs actually. So at the opening stage of this lap, we actually got the guy in second right on our tails here. So he's about, oh, he was right on my bumper, but just through turn 5 I was able to get on the power just a little bit earlier than him, and I've just streaked out a few tenths there. So I am shying away from that curb so much now that I've been literally thrown up and regurgitated by that. But you see, by the end of that particular race, I was 2.5 seconds ahead, and it's going to be an victory. So I will celebrate that. To celebrate that victory, I'm going to have no issues taking that. So that is success there. So I've got a pole position, and I actually did get the fastest lap in that particular race. So that's always good for SR, always good for DR, good for getting your ratings back up. So we'll move on now. I did a few more races after that. We're going good in this video now, about 16 minutes in. Still got more to go, so strap on your seatbelts, get comfortable, because we've got more going. Let's see where we start in this race. There's my fast food machine on second place, and what is that livery on the guy in pole? A few smiling mean faces there. It's actually the same guy from the previous race, actually, to show. He actually improved his qualifying time and has gotten in front of me. But that's alright. So the aim here is to try and get first, I guess. It's always the aim, I suppose. But we've got the lurky boy, McLaren F1, behind. I'm always a bit worried when I see a McLaren F1 behind, especially at the start of a long straight, because that may as well be in Group 2, because it's just so quick down the straight. So let's go into turn 1. Hopefully we can get through turn 1 okay. McLaren F1, obviously catching up quite a lot of ground. He's in slipstream as well, so hopefully he doesn't actually bin it into turn 2, because he's carrying that bit of extra speed. We actually get through there okay. So 5 tenths behind the leader. We just don't want to lose touch with the leader. If you remember, in the last race I actually was quicker than him, and I just touched that curb on through turn 3, and it just bumps the car a little bit, and I just receive a punt going into turn 5, and I'm spun around. And a couple more people actually lose it there. Oh my goodness. Going down the hill now, trying to get on the power, just losing control. Receive another bump in the rear end, going down to hill towards turn 6, and I'm binned off into the gravel again. Oh my goodness, look how messy this is. And I'm pretty sure it was actually that Jag that binned me off there, but he actually got through there penalty free. So work that out, atheists. Explain that, people that don't believe in alien life. So I'm now down in 11th. So name of the game now, recovery. This car, oh my goodness, he ghosted just as I touched him. That was pretty hairy. Glad I kept my foot in it though, because that could have ended badly if I didn't keep my foot in it and was offline. But let's see how we go. In 10th now, let's just see how many positions I can gain up over the course of this race. So once again, today's video, almost based on luck. I felt as though I was really unlucky going through turn 4 and 5 on this lap. It was just wrong place at the wrong time, and receiving a punt from behind when you meet your braking point, that's... How can you see that coming? You can't. So let's follow the Porsche now. So I did notice the Porsche was lagging a little bit, and he actually just bins straight off the track on the first opportunity he gets, so thank you very much. And then we are catching up to old matey here in, what's he driving? Supra. He actually binned it off the track at the same spot as I did as well. And then we've got a Lexus, oh no, a Nissan up ahead of the pair of us. Goes really slow here. I have to brake behind him because he's online, but then he just doesn't go. And of course I'm not going to complain about that. I'll take it, you know. Obviously, I don't know, maybe his controller died or lost connection for a second, but I don't know how I had to brake to stay behind, but then still accelerated past him. He's obviously just not pressing the accelerator to try and be in the way, or his controller died, like I said. So we're now up in 8th, and we are setting purple sectors. So we're actually going okay with the recovery. I think we were 10th or 11th at the end of those 2 consecutive bins at 2 consecutive corners of the previous lap. But let's see how quickly we can catch up to old matey in the Supra here. So we will be in the slipstream down the straight here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to actually get close enough in turn 1. Of course, they did actually change that slipstream range from about 8 tenths to 1.5. You can feel slipstream at 1.5 seconds back. It's probably not enough for an overtake though. But we brake into turn 2 nicely. that's probably a little bit too much speed through there. Someone's actually lost it on the exit there, so he managed to make up another position up into 7th. That's alright, so we're still trying to catch old matey here. Remember, we were about 1.2 seconds going down the straight. We're now 0 seconds as he actually bins it in the same spot as he did 2 laps ago. Managed to make our way up into 6th. Then we've got Yamanra, XX_Yamanra_XX, the Japanese player in 5th place. Can't quite see what he's driving from here, but let's see how long it takes to actually catch up to him. Fast forwarding. Have a look at that gap. 1.3 seconds as we speak. Going through turn 9, we actually catch up a lot of ground. And then through the final turn, turn 13, we actually realise he's driving a Volkswagen Beetle. And we're 5/10ths behind. So prime slipstream range here. Hopefully we can actually get close enough. We've got 1 lap to go and potentially 1 more position to make up. So either we're going to have a good fight here, or he's going to bin it off at the first corner. But let's have a look. We'll break into turn 1, trail it into turn 2, get through there nicely actually, thank goodness, no incidents there. The last thing I want is to have a little tap on this guy and he goes off the track, and then we end up with a penalty. Yellow flags around. I just noticed someone up ahead. 4th place has been reset, so now potentially we've got 2 positions. That's actually that McLaren that started in 3rd place. It's actually just binned it and lost 3rd place down into 4th. Then Beetle slides really wide through turn 6, just carrying way too much speed through there, and the rear end just stepped out and just slid off the track. So now we've actually got a second gap to this McLaren now, and of course McLaren very good in the line, so ideally want to get past before the final turn. Now actually the final turn can be a little bit of an overtaking opportunity as well. If you get right behind, you can just slip up the inside and rotate the car on the apex and get off the corner okay. Get through turn 10 okay though, and you can see we're 5/10ths behind this McLaren now. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for an overtake, but he just catches the grass going through turn 11, just loses him a bit of momentum. He brakes really early for turn 13, on the power early. Let's see, can we actually get the overspeed going down the straight? You know the McLaren's good in the line, we're in the slipstream, we're actually gaining. Have a look at that gap. It's just sort of fluctuating at about 0.13 seconds, but it's not going to be enough. We crossed the line just behind him, only by about 1/10, just 1 and a bit tenths. We managed to lose to him by, but that's all right. I'll take the recovery. You know, not a great race, being binned off on lap 1 by someone who forgot to brake, but I'll always take the recovery because I feel like, yeah, you can have a lot of first place, but if you're not stuck in the group, sometimes at least, if you're not stuck in the group battling, you can't really prove yourself as a good driver. So I do feel like races like that demonstrate that you don't have to come first every time to kind of earn your keep as a good driver. If you can navigate your way through a grid, then I think that is the ultimate show of being a good driver there. You see the next race, because actually I'm not sure how ratings are affected by being binned off. I think DR goes down a little bit. DR goes down when people with lower ratings finish higher than you, or if you finish lower than the car number. You see in this particular case, just when I flick back to the front, I've got a number 6 on the front right fender there. It looks like a 9, but we're viewing upside down because we're looking from the car forward. It's the number 6. So if I finish 6th or above, my DR will go up. If I finish 6th or above, but there's people with lower DR higher than me, even though I'm above 6th, I think DR goes up a little bit, but not quite as much. And if my door number is 14, I'm rated BS, and I've got SS drivers, and I'll finish first. That is going to be, DR is going to go up by a lot. But it's all good. So we managed to put it on pole for this one. We've got Praying Over in 2nd place. Hopefully he'll be praying over his dead body by the time I'm done with him. But anyway, we'll not entertain those thoughts. But you see, by the end of that race, a few laps, you had a nice clean race. Actually had the fastest lap at this point, 1:21.1. That's actually quicker than my qualifying time, isn't it? 20, yeah, it is. Would you look at that? But on the final corner, I just demonstrated what I said at the start of the video. If you put your whole car, all 4 wheels onto that curb, you get quite an aggressive penalty. And I actually had 2.5 seconds there, so that rounds up to 3. So it is so lucky in that particular instance that I had quite a bit of a gap on that Nissan in 2nd place. So that would have been, oh my goodness, that would have been so embarrassing if I Spent the whole race in first, and then went too wide at the final corner and got a penalty, and the guy in second place actually won. Oh well, that would have been pretty funny if I did, but there we go, another victory, and that's actually going to round out the video today. So I hope you did enjoy this one. I did. I do actually like the new Sardegna road courses, and they've been in the daily races a few times, which I'm happy because, you know, there's some tracks that they've put in the game and pretty much have never featured as a daily race. R.I.P. Saint Croix. But anyway, I do thank you for watching. Do hit that like button to let me know that you liked it, and hit subscribe if you'd like to see amazing videos like this in your subscription box every week. But that's going to be the end of the video today, and that means that is it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching. See you later.